Alright, checking out the new Alchemy format in MTG Arena. New version of Luminarch Aspirant, where the ability is on the end step instead of the combat stage. New version of Demolit Skeleton Wizard. New version of Wizard class and Druid class, both that have level 3 cheaper. New version of Goldspan Dragon. And a Seeker's Chariot, which is now crew 2 instead of crew 4. A Cosmos Elixir. Beginning of your end step, draw a card if your life total is greater than your starting life total. Otherwise, you gain 2 life and scry 1. The new version of the Faceless Haven. New version of Phylath World Sculptor. And the new Luminarch Aspirant, where instead of putting the +1/+1 counter on your combat turn, you put it on your end step. Alright. Alright, so some more Alchemy cards. Got Blood Rage Alpha, 3 mana, 1 red. He's a 4/3. When he enters battlefield, choose one. Another target wolf or werewolf you control fights another target creature you don't control. When you cast your next wolf or werewolf spell, it gains when this creature enters battlefield, it fights up to one target creature you don't control. Town Razor Tyrant, really awesome artwork there, and I know this is one dragon that I did not already have in my collection, even from an old version. And it's a 4/4. It costs 2 mana, 2 red. When it enters battlefield, target land you don't control loses all abilities except mana abilities and gains at the beginning of your upkeep. This permanent deals 2 damage to you unless you sacrifice it. Toralf's Disciple, 3/3, human warrior with haste for 2 mana, 1 red. When he attacks, conjure 4 cards named Lightning Bolt into your library and then shuffle. And Lightning Bolt deals 3 damage to any target. Absorb Energy, an instant for 1 mana, 2 blue. Counter target spell. Cards in your hand that share a card type with that spell perpetually gain this spell, costs 1 less to cast. Key to the Archive, artifact for 4 mana, enters battlefield tapped, and when it enters battlefield, draft a card from Key to the Archive spellbook, then discard a card, and tap it to add 2 mana in any combination of colors. Spellbook says Approach of the Second Sun. It says 1 of 15, so at the moment I don't know how to look at more of these, but Approach of the Second Sun for 6 mana, 1 white. Sorcery, if this spell was cast from your hand and you've cast another spell named Approach of the Second Sun in this game, you win the game. Otherwise, put Approach of the Second Sun into its owner's library, 7th from the top, and you gain 7 life. Sounds pretty cool. Predatory Sludge, an ooze creature for 2 mana, 1 black, has Menace, and it's a 3/3. As it enters battlefield, choose a permanent you don't control. When the chosen permanent is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, conjure a card named Predatory Sludge into your hand. Guess it doesn't really need to show it side by side. Ishkana Broodmother. I think this is one I've seen that I considered crafting. Legendary Spider for 3 mana, 1 green, and it's a 3/5. Has reach, of course. Other spiders you control get +1/+2. So I may very well make a spiders deck because of that right there, that spider synergy. And for 1 mana and 1 green or black, exile 2 cards from your graveyard. Draft a card from Ishkana Broodmother's spellbook. And one of the cards from her spellbook is Twin Silk Spider, a spider that has 1 power and 2 toughness for 2 mana and 1 green. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach. Pretty cool. I guess I got, and it's showing different artwork. I guess this is the Alchemy artwork for Innistrad. It's got 3 booster packs there. So this is Alchemy Innistrad booster packs. Alright, got Rimewall Protector, Giant Wizard, 3/4, and it costs 1 mana, 2 blue. Has Ward 1. When he enters the battlefield, each other giant or wizard you control and each giant or wizard card in your hand perpetually gains Ward 1. And I think at some point I'll create an Alchemy deck version of my giant deck, or giant wizards deck, which is mostly giants, has a few of those giant wizards in it. They're red-blue, and also has a few wizards in it. So he will go in that deck when I do create an Alchemy Giants deck. Faithful Disciple, a 2/2 human cleric for 1 mana 1 white, has vigilance, and when he dies, draft a card from Faithful Disciple spellbook. And it shows one spellbook is Anointed Procession, enchantment for 3 mana 1 white. It says if an effect would create one or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many of those tokens instead. Alright. Siphon Essence. It doesn't show an alchemy symbol on there. I can't remember for sure. I think I've used Siphon Essence once or twice so far. Costs 2 mana 1 blue. Counter target creature spell or planeswalker spell, create a blood token. And I don't remember if that's any different at all from the old version. And a Conductive Current. Haven't seen this one before, or I might have seen this one before. I don't think it's in my collection. The old version costs 3 red. Deals 3 damage to each creature. Choose an instant or sorcery card in your hand. It perpetually gains. If this spell would deal non-combat damage to a permanent or player, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. Pretty cool there. Certainly at some point I'll be using that. I don't yet know how often I'll be playing this Alchemy version, but here and there, I don't know. We'll see. We're going to see what this is like. And then in the near future I'll upload a video discussing how it's going so far and what people's opinions are of it. Alright, Kindred Denial, an instant for 2 mana 2 blue. Counter target spell, seek a card with the same mana value as that spell. That's pretty cool. Brittle Blast, instant for 2 mana 1 red. Creatures and planeswalkers your opponents control perpetually gain. If this permanent would die, exile instead. Brittle Blast deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Pretty cool. Got another Moldgraph Millipede. Don't know yet if I'll ever be using more than 2 in a deck. Maybe, we'll see. He's a 2/2 insect horror for 4 mana 1 green. When he enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards, then put a +1/+1 counter on him for each creature card in your graveyard. And I got a common wild card. Flame Blessed Bolt, or Flame Blessed Bolt. Instant for 1 red. Instant for 1 red. Deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that creature or planeswalker would die this turn, exile instead. Another Adamant Will. Another Mind Leech Gold. A 2/2 zombie for 1 mana 1 black. And when he exploits a creature, each opponent exiles a card from their hand. Oh, I got a new rare wild card. So I'll have to decide. There's a bunch of cards that I want to use this to craft. Another Brittle Blast. Soulstealer Axe. Artifact equipment for 1 mana. Equipped creature has trample, and whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, seek a card with mana value equal to that damage. Equipped to. Got yet another Sigarda's Imprisonment. Maybe at some point I'll use more than 2 in a deck. I don't know. There's a bunch of great enchantments that make creatures not be able to attack or block. Of course, for blood token synergy, this would be the preferred enchantment. Spore Crawler, got another one of those. Another Selhoff Entomber. Another Moldgraph Millipede. Another Griff Rider, which is a decent 2/1 human knight for 2 mana 1 white, and has flying and training. And an Unexpected Conversion. Alchemy sorcery for, or alchemy version of a sorcery for 2 mana 1 blue. And I don't have this already in my collection, the old version. Draw 2 cards, then you may exile or an instant or sorcery card from your hand. If you do, search your hand and library for any number of cards with the same name, exile them, then shuffle. Seek an instant or sorcery card for each card exiled from your hand this way. A little complicated and drawn out description there, but it seems like it could be pretty useful. Alright. So those are what I have so far for what the arena has given me for Alchemy. Another thing that's different on the main page, I'm not seeing where you can select all game modes. That's not there. You click here for events, and they're not in this part on the right anymore, they're over here. Welcome to Alchemy, quick draft, ending in 18 hours. I'd like to try to fit in time to play it at least one more time. But Alchemy event, color challenge, still got jump in going on. Bring your Alchemy deck, play some games, and receive rewards based on how many games you win. Might try that soon. Welcome to Alchemy, the debut of Alchemy, the newest format on MTG Arena. Alchemy contains all of the sets from Standard plus new cards from a special release each set. Alchemy is fully digital, which means that in addition to new cards, you can expect to see functional adjustments to cards in the format on a regular basis. You'll find a full range of cards, packs, queues, and events for Alchemy right alongside the familiar Standard and Historic game modes. All you have to do is join in and play. For now, start your journey with 3 packs of Alchemy Innistrad when you join this welcome event. Then take the format for a spin and earn a few more to help you on your way. Have fun and enjoy the games. Alright. I mean, there's a lot of details involved and a lot of opinions. It's like, I kind of understand it, but if you can't play Historic without the Alchemy, then I disagree, and I kind of agree with the people who don't like that. Even though in the roughly 5 months that I've been playing, I haven't spent half that time in Historic. I've crafted a relatively small number of Historic cards, and I'm nowhere near any decent amount of collection or Historic decks to play against the very powerful Historic decks that I have played against, or at least a lot of the time that I've played in Historic. Although I have a couple decks that have quite a few Historic cards in them, and I would say that they do pretty well, or at least part of the time, such as Discard and Burn. A deck that has decent cat synergy with some healing, and a couple other decks, a Historic Zombies deck that has a lot of good synergy in it and has won several times, as well as a Historic Vampire deck that has won several times, and a white-black Historic Vampire Clerics deck has also won several times. So obviously this right here is much different than it used to be. It says new Alchemy Historic. It shows separate, but everyone online is saying that Alchemy affects Historic. There's Standard Brawl and Historic Brawl, and I've also heard that the Alchemy affects Historic Brawl. Standard play, new Alchemy Historic bot match. And under ranked, there's Standard, Alchemy, and Historic. Best of 1 and best of 3. So in my Historic Cats deck, I guess as I should have expected, I guess I had to replace my old Asika's Chariot with the new one. But it's the only one I've had to replace, because it's the only one in this built deck that has a new version for Alchemy. And the new version, unlike before, you only have to crew 2, where you used to have to crew a total of 4 creatures of a total of 4 power. So in my blue-red burn deck, which is just like a slightly edited version of the Prismari deck that the Arena gives you, or considerably edited, it's like it automatically set it to Alchemy. If I have it set to Standard, I can still use the old version of Wizard class. And the new version, the Alchemy version of Wizard class, level 3 it costs the same amount of mana as level 2, which seems pretty ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie, I can agree with that. There's definitely a lot of people upset with this. This is not a Historic deck. I didn't have it set to Historic or Alchemy. This is mildly annoying. So in the old version of Luminarch Aspirant, 1 mana, 1 white, and she's a 1/1. At the beginning of combat in your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. The new version, the only thing that's changed is says at the beginning of your end step, you may put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Whereas it used to be at the beginning of combat, as we all know. So when you're playing in Historic or Alchemy, this card's going to be a little bit less powerful. It's still kind of powerful, but you just you won't be able to put that +1 counter at the beginning of combat anymore. It's going to be on the end step. Kind of disappointing, but depending on the card and what I feel like doing, especially since I got some new cards I did not have before, I'll sometimes be playing Alchemy, and here and there I'll play some Historic, but I'm not going to be using Luminarch Aspirant in Historic or Alchemy very much, probably. Alright, let's try at least one round of the Alchemy. I've been putting off finishing the... Okay, cool. So got three more Alchemy Innistrad packs. Cool. So let's see what my new cards are. Soul Stealer Axe looks pretty cool. I don't think I've seen this before. Artifact equipment for 1 mana. A equipped creature has trample, and whenever they deal combat damage to a player, seek a card with mana value equal to that damage. And Veteran Ghoul Caller has Menace, a 2/1 human rogue with Menace, 1 mana, 1 black. Whenever a card in your graveyard is put into your hand, conjure a duplicate of that card into your hand. That's pretty cool. I guess he'll be going in my Alchemy Rogues deck, I suppose, or at some point I'll put him in my Black Rogues deck or my Dimir Rogues deck. Another Kindred Denial. 2 mana, 2 blue, counter target spell, seek a card with the same mana value as that spell. It's one of the ones I got in an Alchemy pack earlier. Cursebound Witch, I don't think I've seen this one before. A 1/2 human warlock for 1 mana, 1 black, I mean. A 1/2 human warlock for 1 black. When Cursebound Witch dies, draft a card from Cursebound Witch's spellbook. And the first one they show in the spellbook for 1 black is the artifact. And while the artifact is on the battlefield, pay 1 mana, 1 black to sacrifice a creature, and you'll gain 1 life and draw a card. Might not be that useful in my opinion. I don't know. Got an uncommon wild card, cool. Got a Tireless Angler, a 1/4 human rogue for 2 mana and 1 blue. And apparently he's really into fishing when he's not out on adventures or sneaking about. Whenever an island enters the battlefield under your control, draft a card from Tireless Angler's spellbook. Apparently Rogue has a spellbook. And the first one it shows in this spellbook is it's a Fleet Swallower, a 6/6 fish for 5 mana, 2 blue. Whenever Fleet Swallower attacks, target player mills half their library rounded up. Definitely good for a mill deck if you're doing a mill deck where you just want to take care of a lot of the players' potentially powerful cards and control cards and whatnot. In our last Alchemy Innistrad pack, Settle the Wilds. Seek a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Then seek a permanent card with mana value equal to the number of lands you control. Geist of Regret. I think I may have seen this one before, the old version. It's a 4/5 spirit for 4 mana, 1 blue. When he enters the battlefield, put a random instant card from your library into your graveyard. Then put a random sorcery card from your library into your graveyard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Alright, I suppose that's kind of alright. If you enjoyed this video, tap that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this Alchemy. And thank you for watching.